Philadelphia, where American history lives on every corner. Top 10 landmarks every history lover should visit. What's up, guys? My name is Larry. For the next 10 minutes, we're going on an adventure. We're diving headfirst into the heart of Philadelphia, a city that's so much more than just cheesesteaks Rocky. This is where a nation was born, where ideas that changed the world were argued over in stuffy rooms. It's a living, breathing museum. You come to a city like this, 1 million pamphlets, 1,000 blog posts. Where do I even start? That's what this video is for. No fluff, no wasted time. We're hitting the 10 essential spots that tell the story of this city, and by extension, the story of America. I'm not just going to show you a building and read a plaque. For each landmark, I'm giving you the inside scoop. What to actually do there, to feel the history, the best time to go to beat the crowds and get that perfect shot, and how to connect the dots between these places. We've got a lot to see, so let's get moving. This is my guide to Philly's most iconic landmarks. All right, first up, we're starting at the absolute epicenter, the place where it all went down, Independence Hall. You can feel the weight of this place the second you step onto the grounds. This isn't just some old brick building. This is the room where the Declaration of Independence was signed. This is where the United States Constitution was debated, argued, over, finally forged. Think about that for a second. The DNA of a country was written right here. It's one of those places that gives you goosebumps, for real. The key here is planning. You can't just wander in. Tickets are technically free, but you have to reserve them online in advance for a specific time slot. They go fast, especially during peak season. Don't be the person who shows up and gets turned away. Book it early. When you get inside, you'll join a guided tour led by a park ranger. Listen to them. These people are passionate. They know their stuff. They bring the stories of Jefferson Adams Franklin to life, in a way a history book never could. Your goal inside is the assembly room. Just stand there. Look at the chair with the sun carved into it, Washington's chair. Try to imagine the heat, the pressure, the sheer audacity of what they were doing. It's a powerful moment. Now, for the pro tip, get the earliest tour of the day. Seriously. The morning light is beautiful. You beat the massive school groups and the tour bus crowds by midday. Okay, we've just walked across the street from Independence Hall, and now we're at the Liberty Bell Center. This is one of those symbols that is so famous you feel like you already know it. But seeing it in person is different. It's smaller than you might think, but its presence is huge. The story of this bell is the story of freedom itself, not just in 1776. The abolitionist movement, the women's suffrage movement, the civil rights movement. It's a symbol that has been adopted by everyone fighting for a voice. The center itself is more than just a room with a bell in it. It's a well-designed museum that walks you through the bell's history. Take your time with the interpretive exhibits. They have these incredible X-rays that show the internal structure of the bell and the famous crack. It's about how the bell's inscription, "Proclaim Liberty," throughout all the land, became a rallying cry for generations. It reframes the bell from a simple historical object into a living symbol of an ongoing struggle. Now, let's talk logistics. This place gets packed. The line can snake all the way back into the square, especially in the middle of the day when all the tours are running. My advice is the same as for Independence Hall. Go early. Be there right when they open. Or try the opposite approach. Go in the late afternoon, about an hour before they close. The crowds thin out, and you can get a moment of quiet contemplation with the bell, which is a rare thing. You'll get to see it with Independence Hall framed perfectly in the window behind it. An absolutely iconic shot. Don't just snap a picture and leave. Find a spot along the rail, put your phone away for a minute, and just look at it. Think about its journey, from a forgotten bell in a steeple to one of the most powerful symbols of freedom on the planet. It's a moment to reflect on what that word, liberty, really means. It's the perfect thoughtful end to our morning in the historic district. All right, we're hopping in an Uber, leaving the colonial-era streets behind and heading to the grand Benjamin Franklin Parkway. Our destination, the Philadelphia Museum of Art. And yes, the first thing you have to do is the one thing everyone has to do. You have to run up the steps. Don't walk, run. Put on Gonna Fly Now in your headphones if you have to. It's cheesy, it's touristy, but you know what? It's awesome. The feeling of getting to the top, turning around, and seeing that panoramic view of the Philly skyline is epic. Once you've had your Rocky Balboa moment and snapped the obligatory photo with the statue at the bottom of the steps, it's time to go inside. Because the real main event is the museum itself. This is a world-class institution. People get so caught up in the steps they forget that one of the country's greatest art collections is waiting right behind them. The sheer scale of it is mind-blowing. You can wander through a reconstructed medieval cloister, a Japanese tea house, an entire Indian temple hall. But if you're on a limited schedule, you need a plan. My recommendation is to focus on two key areas. First, the American collection. It makes so much sense to see it here, in the birthplace of the nation. They have an incredible range of works from colonial portraits to modern pieces. Second, do not miss the Impressionist galleries. They have one of the best collections of Monet and Cézanne outside of Paris. It's an unexpected and beautiful treasure. So, when should you go? Weekday mornings are the golden ticket. The galleries are quiet, almost serene. You can actually stand in front of a masterpiece without a dozen people jostling for a selfie. The light pouring into the Great Stair Hall is just beautiful. You come for the movie moment, but you stay for the art. It's the perfect blend of pop culture and high culture. Chapter 4. From the steps of a beautiful art museum, we're going somewhere completely different. Somewhere that's crumbling, haunting, and absolutely unforgettable. Welcome to Eastern State Penitentiary. This place is not a reconstruction. It's a stabilized ruin. It looks like something out of a post-apocalyptic movie. Cell blocks open to the sky, plants growing through the walls, paint peeling in giant sheets. The atmosphere here is thick, heavy with the stories of the thousands of people who were incarcerated here. When you get your ticket, you'll be handed a headset for the audio tour. Do not skip this. I repeat, do not skip the audio tour. It's narrated by the actor Steve Buscemi, and it is one of the best audio guides I have ever experienced. It's not just a dry history lesson. It's filled with the voices of former inmates, guards, and historians. It guides you through these decaying cell blocks and tells you the stories, the escapes, the riots, the solitary confinement. This prison was revolutionary when it was built. It was the world's first true penitentiary, designed to inspire penitence, or true regret, in the hearts of criminals through strict isolation. You can walk into one of the original barrel-vaulted cells and imagine what that was like. The most famous inmate, of course, was Al Capone, and you can see his restored cell, fine furniture, and a radio. It's a stark contrast to the stark reality the other inmates faced. The best time to visit? Late afternoon. As the sun gets lower in the sky, it streams through the skylights and broken windows, creating these long, dramatic shadows down the cell block corridors. The light is incredibly evocative and makes the whole experience feel more moody, more powerful. It turns the entire prison into a photographer's dream. Eastern State isn't a fun visit, but it's an essential one. It's a chilling, beautiful, and thought-provoking look at the history of crime and punishment in America. Chapter 5. Okay, after the intensity of Eastern State, we're heading back to Old City for something a little more charming, a little more wholesome. We're going to the Betsy Ross house. This tiny brick house tucked away on a busy street is where, according to legend, the very first American flag was sewn. Now historians debate the details, but honestly, that almost doesn't matter. The house has become a shrine to American patriotism, the story of a working woman who played a role in the revolution. The experience here is really intimate. Walking through the actual rooms where Betsy Ross lived and where she ran her upholstery business. It's a cramped, multi-story home that gives you a real sense of artisan life in the 18th century. It wasn't glamorous. It was hard work. The best part, they often have historical reenactors in the courtyard or inside the upholstery shop. There's usually a Betsy there, telling her story and demonstrating flag making. Talking to the reenactors is key. Ask them questions. They stay deeply in character and are very knowledgeable, which makes the experience feel far more real than reading a sign. It's an amazingly personal way to engage with history. Mornings are best, performers are fresh, and the courtyard isn't too crowded. It's a fantastic spot for families. But even as an adult, there's something really cool about seeing the first flag being made right in front of you. And here's how you make this visit even better. You pair it with Elfrith's Alley, which is just a few blocks away. The Betsy Ross house sits at the entrance to this historic street, so you can immerse yourself in the story of the flag. Then step out and walk down the oldest continuously inhabited residential street in the country. A perfect 1-2 punch of colonial Philly charm for a story-filled morning. Chapter 6. We've talked a lot about the politicians and the soldiers of the Revolution, but now we're going to dive into the mind of Philadelphia's most famous resident, its resident genius, Benjamin Franklin. There's no better place to do that than the Franklin Institute. This isn't your typical quiet hands-off museum. This place is buzzing with energy. It's a massive science museum dedicated to Franklin's spirit of curiosity, invention, and discovery. It's all about hands-on learning. You walk in, and you're immediately greeted by a colossal statue of Benjamin Franklin in a rotunda that feels like a temple to science. From there, it's a choose-your-own-adventure of exploration. You can walk through a giant 2-story model of a human heart. You can explore the principles of electricity. You can see historic locomotives. You can fly a simulated fighter jet. It's a place designed to make you feel like a kid again, to spark that sense of wonder about how the world works. While the whole place is amazing, there are 2 things you absolutely cannot miss. First is the electricity exhibit. It directly connects to Franklin's famous kite experiment, which he conducted right here in Philadelphia. They have these amazing live demonstrations that are both educational and genuinely spectacular. Second is the Fells Planetarium. It's one of the oldest planetariums in the country, and sitting back in that dark dome and flying through the cosmos is just a timeless, awe-inspiring experience. My advice for visiting is simple. If you can, go on a weekday morning. This place is a massive magnet for school field trips, and by late morning, the noise and energy levels can be, a lot. Going early on a weekday gives you a head start before the buses arrive, letting you enjoy the most popular exhibits like the giant heart with a bit more breathing room. It's a loud, fun, and totally engaging way to connect with the incredible legacy of Ben Franklin, the ultimate Philadelphian. Okay, we've filled our minds with history and science. Now it's time to fill our stomachs. We're heading to a landmark that's a feast for the senses. Reading Terminal Market. This isn't just a food hall, it's a piece of living history. It's been in continuous operation since 1893. A bustling, chaotic, delicious melting pot of Philly cultures. The second you walk in, you're hit with a wall of sound and smell. Sizzling cheesesteaks, fresh-baked cookies, brewing coffee, 100 conversations at once. The market is huge and can be overwhelming, so you need a game plan. My mission for you: sample the market's culinary history. First, try a classic Philly sandwich. Everyone talks cheesesteak, but locals swear the real star is the roast pork sandwich. Head to Dinnick's Roast Pork. It's been named the best sandwich in America. Get the roast pork with sharp provolone and broccoli rabe. It is life-changing. Trust me. After the main course, explore the market's Amish heritage. Pennsylvania Dutch merchants bring goods from Lancaster County. Their corner of the market feels like a step back in time. You have to get a donut from Baylor's Donuts. Warm, soft, incredible. Then grab baked goods to go. Choufle pie, fresh bread. It's a taste of a culture woven into this region. So, when do you go? Best time, mid-morning on a weekday, around 10 or 11 a.m. You'll miss the morning coffee rush, and you'll beat the insane lunch rush that starts at noon. The aisles are more manageable. The lines are shorter. You can wander and explore without feeling like you're in a human traffic jam. Reading Terminal Market isn't just a place to eat. It's the vibrant, beating heart of the city. Chapter 8. From the delicious chaos of the market, we're going to get a whole new perspective on the city. We're heading to a building that dominates the skyline, a building so ornate and massive it looks like it belongs in Paris, Philadelphia City Hall. For decades, it was the tallest building in the city. Even now, surrounded by glass skyscrapers, it holds its own. It's a masterpiece of architecture, covered in sculptures and intricate details. Most people just walk by and admire it from the outside, but the secret here is to go up. There's an elevator that takes you to an observation deck, right at the base of the giant William Penn statue on top of the tower. It's a tiny open-air deck, and the view is absolutely breathtaking. You get a 360-degree panorama of the entire city, with the Benjamin Franklin Parkway stretching out like a grand Parisian boulevard all the way to the Art Museum. It's the best vantage point in Philly, hands down. After you come down from the tower, your next stop is right across the street, the newly redesigned Love Park. This is home to Robert Indiana's iconic love sculpture, one of the most photographed pieces of public art in the world. It's a pilgrimage spot for couples, for tourists, for everyone. Getting your picture here is a Philadelphia rite of passage. The park itself is a great place to just sit, people watch, and soak in the view of City Hall, framed perfectly behind the sculpture. The absolute best time for this two-part experience is the golden hour, the hour right before sunset. Taking the elevator up the City Hall tower as the sun begins to set will give you the most stunning, dramatic light for your skyline photos. The whole city is bathed in this warm, golden glow. Then, as dusk settles in, you can head over to Love Park, where the sculpture and the fountains are beautifully lit up. It's a magical and incredibly romantic way to end a day of exploring. Chapter 9. Sometimes the most powerful historical landmarks aren't grand halls or towering monuments. Sometimes they're quiet, unassuming places where everyday life has unfolded for centuries. That's what brings us to Elfreth's Alley. Tucked away in Old City, this narrow cobblestone street is America's oldest continuously inhabited residential street. People have lived here, in these same 32 houses, for over 300 years. That's just mind-blowing to me. Walking down this alley is like stepping through a portal in time. The modern city disappears, and you're surrounded by these beautiful, compact brick homes with their flower boxes and colorful shutters. It's incredibly charming and unbelievably peaceful, especially considering it's just steps away from the hustle and bustle of the city. This isn't a museum where things are behind glass. This is a living neighborhood. You have to remember to be respectful, as people still call these historic houses home. The best thing to do here is simply to walk, slowly. Read the historic plaques on the houses. They tell the stories of the people who lived here. The artisans, the merchants, the shipwrights, the everyday colonial citizens. There's also a small museum in one of the houses that offers a peek into what life was like back then. To truly experience the magic of Elfreth's Alley, you have to go in the early morning. Before the walking tours arrive, before the city fully wakes up, you can have the entire street almost to yourself. The morning light is soft, the cobblestones are quiet except for your own footsteps, and you can really feel the history seeping from the bricks. It's a quiet, contemplative moment. It's a chance to connect with the simple, domestic history of the city, which is just as important as the grand political history. Chapter 10. For our final stop, we're getting out of the dense city center and heading to a place of natural beauty and quiet history, Fairmount Park and Boathouse Row. Fairmount Park is one of the largest urban parks in the country, a massive green oasis that follows the Schuylkill River. It's the city's backyard, a place for recreation, but it's also steeped in history, with historic mansions and, most famously, Boathouse Row. Boathouse Row is a string of 19th-century boathouses belonging to various rowing clubs, lined up perfectly along the riverbank. During the day, they are beautiful, historic structures, and you can often see rowing teams gliding gracefully across the water. It feels like a scene out of another era. It's a testament to the long and storied history of rowing as a sport in Philadelphia. A walk or a bike ride along Kelly Drive, which runs alongside the river, is the best way to see them up close. But the real magic of Boathouse Row happens at night. After sunset, each of the houses is outlined in thousands of white lights, which reflect perfectly in the dark water of the river. It is one of the most iconic and beautiful views in all of Philadelphia. Finding a spot on the opposite bank or on the Spring Garden Street Bridge gives you the perfect vantage point for this breathtaking sight. It's a photographer's dream. For the ultimate experience, you have two options that offer completely different moods. A sunrise visit is perfect for a peaceful walk or run. The park is quiet, the light is soft, and you can watch the rowers begin their morning practice. It's serene. Or a sunset visit lets you see the boathouses in the golden hour light, followed by the moment the lights turn on. Combined with aerial shots from a drone, this location is pure cinematic gold. It's the perfect, peaceful, and stunningly beautiful way to cap off our tour of Philadelphia. Outro. So there it is. 10 spots, 10 stories. We ran the steps. We stood in the room where it happened. We walked down a 300-year-old street. But here's the thing. This video, this list, it's not a checklist. It's a starting point. The real magic of a city like Philly isn't just seeing these places. It's about what happens in between. It's the conversations you have, the weird little side streets you wander down, the sandwich that changes your life. It's about finding your own story in the middle of all this history. What I do, what these videos are about. It's about trying to bottle that feeling. The feeling of being in a new place, with wide eyes, just soaking it all in. It's about inspiring you to not just watch, but to do. To book the flight, to take the walk, to go have the adventure. Because reading about history is one thing, but to stand where it was made, to feel the grit of the cobblestones and the energy of the streets, that's something else entirely. That's what travel is all about. So go. Use this as your map, but don't be afraid to get lost. The best discoveries are the ones you make for yourself. Thanks for coming along on this trip with me. It really does mean the world. Now, as always, the work doesn't stop. I've got more stories to find, more adventures to share. So get out there, do something, create something, and I'll see you in the next one.